our respective dignitaries, and all the delegates present here. Myself, Sweetie Bana, Assistant Professor, ITS College of Pharmacy, feel privileged to extend my warm welcome to you all, along with my co-host, Ms. Gurvinder Kaur, Assistant Professor, ITS College of Pharmacy, to the third day of online FDP on Drug Engineering Challenges and Innovation, sponsored by AICTE Atal Academy. Now, I welcome our esteemed speaker, Dr. Harish Dureja, to this Atal FDP. Dr. Harish Dureja is presently working as a professor in pharmaceutics, Department of Pharmaceutical Science, Maharishi Dayanand University, Rohtak. He awarded with first gold medal for best PhD thesis on the basis of highest impact factor publication attended in the thesis. He is also holding the position of Director, Center for IPR Studies, along with the Director, Professional Consultancy Services and Governor, Institution Innovation Council at MD University, Rohtak. He has a total of 21 years experience, out of which 18 years in PG teaching and research. He has filed one Indian patent and published a book, Nanoparticles for the Delivery of Anti-Cancer Agents, published by Lab Lambert Academic Publishing, Germany. He has been awarded research projects of worth 1.2 crore from AICTE, UGC, and Haryana DST as principal investigator, including co-PI in UGC SAP. He has been awarded Young Pharmacy Teacher of the Year Award 2014 by Association of Pharmaceutical Teachers of India, Haryana State Branch. He has been awarded the Best Paper Award, Professor M.L. Khurana Memorial Prize Award 2005, and also awarded for Dr. R.L. Nikor Award for Best Article published in 2018. He has worked as Chairman Scientific Services Committee during 69th IPC at Chitkara University, Rajpura. He also worked as content writer for E-Pathshala program of Ministry of Human Resources Development for postgraduate course of Pharmaceutical Sciences for the paper Novel Drug Delivery System. He is also working as President, Association of Pharmaceutical Teachers of India, Haryana State Branch. Once again, I welcome you, sir, and please, sir, cast your light of knowledge upon us in this session. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, sweetie, for your kind words.
Welcome, sir.
Just confirm I am audible.
Yeah, you're audible, sir.
And the presentation is visible too.
Yes, sir.
So good morning to one and all.
Good morning.
Pleasant morning in this North Indian time. Today we have taken the topic quality by design in pharmaceutical research. Before I should move ahead, I must acknowledge my sincere thanks to Dr. S. Satish Kumar, Dr. Praveen Gaud, and Dr. Manoj Kumar Sharma from ITS College of Pharmacy, Ghaziabad, for inviting me to deliver my views on this topic, quality by design in pharmaceutical research. We know the quality mantra given by Joseph M. Juran. He has written a book on quality by design, that quality cannot be tested into the products. That is, there is no testing mechanism for the quality, but we have the mechanism to build in, and that building can be possible by design only. So looking into this concept of quality by design, we came to one of the question, what quality by design is. Quality by design is basically a systematic approach. Keeping all things aside, keeping your views on your aspect of formulation, extraction, mechanism of action, or synthesizing, applying a systematic approach rather than a non-systematic approach. Keeping in view of all your predefined objectives. Whatsoever the objectives you have defined, all are taken into consideration. Go ahead for you. The emphasis has been given on the product and process understanding, and the main part of, or we can say the beauty of quality by design, is the quality risk management. So in all steps of quality by design, it is going to consider the risk assessment 3 times into the whole process of a product formulation, product extraction, or we can say the determining the action or the therapeutic effectiveness. Sweetie, I can request you to mute your mic. Dr. Sweetie. So what is quality by design? Quality by design means we are designing something, we are developing something. It may be a formulation, it may be a manufacturing process, and ultimately it is going to ensure the predefined quality of your product. What does it requires? It needs a basic understanding how your formulation, how your manufacturing process are going to be changed with the change of your variables. That is, your quality of the product is going to be changed by change in some minor variables, even temperature, even the RPM, even the mixing time. Such parameters play a quite important role. All these to be considered when we are developing a design or the quality product. The outcome of this quality by design input we have given, that what it needs the basic understanding, but it will make you ensure that your product has the highest quality. And definitely you have added here the effective control strategies. As I told you, risk assessment is the beauty of this quality by design. The quality by design can be done in different 5 steps. Steps 1 started with target product profile. And this approach is basically the patient-centric approach, where we want to determine what is the mechanism of action of your drug. The API has selected, the material I have chosen for extraction, it is a botanical product, that what its mechanism of action. Then second is what its clinical pharmacology. That is the pharmacokinetics, its pathway of the transformation, and indications for the use. For which disease we are going to target, that is the initial part where we are going to determine primary as well as the secondary efficacy endpoint of that drug. So this target profile give you a picture that how your drug is going to be act inside the body of the patient. Where we need the quality target product profile, because the efficacy, the safety of the drug where we are going to use for the patient, that must consider its indication, its routes of administration. What is the dosage form? Is it available in the solid form? It is available in the liquid form, or maybe in the parenteral dosage form, and what is its dose strength? That is foremost important to be fixed as per the some certain aspects of the drug. Container closure system. Different attributes relating to the pharmacokinetics as well as the quality criteria of the drug, which includes sterility, purity, stability, as well as the release. So step 1 considered you are the main API, the drug, where we are going to consider only the one basic concept, that how our drug is going to react. What are the major profile, major quality attributes of this drug as to be considered QTPP, that is quality target product profile. As initially I said, that quality by design has the beauty of applying risk assessment. Here, we are again going to apply risk assessment at the level 1 to shortlist our quality drug target product profile. We may have make a list of so many target product profiles like stability, order, sterility, dissolution, particle size, drug release, and the color. Taking a simple example here for the tablet, we may have the hardness, we may have the dissolution, we may have the disintegration, we may have the content uniformity. Out of these, which is critical one, which is a more important one, that to be considered. And that is the part here we are going to assess the risk assessment where we are determining critical quality attributes. That means the target product profile is converted into the quality attributes, which are four most important for our formulations. These attributes relates to the excipients. If I'm using a binder, using a disintegrant, what are the different quality attributes? My drying temperature, my mixing time, my compression forces, all such parameters may change the attribute of a drug product. I have to select what are the critical ones, and then what are the attributes of our drug, the API, as well as the different formulation and the process related parameters affecting the drug product, which may be called the critical one or to be discussed and determined here before going to the step number 3, where we are going to determine the different process parameters as well as the material attributes. Material attributes relates to your API as well as your excipients. Their physical properties, their chemical, biological, or microbiological properties, they are taken into consideration. What is the moisture content into your material? Its specific volume, whether it is sterilized one, what are the purity considerations, similar happening with my process parameters. Process parameters are those parameters which are required as operating parameters. Like if you are giving the process of mixing, what is the speed? What is the time? Are we maintaining the mixing index? If we are taking the flow rate, what is the flow rate? Which temperature to be used? Which pressures are optimum for these formulations? So all such parameters, either that relates to material or to the process, they are considered the critical one as the risk assessment level 2. So this is going to identify the critical one, and that can be given as input for design of experiment. So I have taken into consideration the different material attributes and process parameters like the pressure, moisture content, temperature, mixing speed, and given an input for design of experiment. Step number.
Yes, sir. You are visible and also audible.
It's visible and you're audible.
Thank you, Dr. Sadish. So the point was that what is the required input for the that is blood circulation, and that is given as the input for our design of experiment. So now this design of experiment is working and giving you the outcomes as critical material attributes as well as the critical process parameters. So when we are working with design of experiment and we have the certain critical material attributes and the process parameters, we can get the optimum ratios. Like what is my desired particle size? How I select the purity of my compound, and as well as the different parameters. What should be the optimum temperature for the drying of this particular dosage form? What should be the rotation speed, agitation, or any such parameters taken into consideration? So whenever we had designed that critical material attributes as well as the process parameters, we can further go ahead with the design space. So all design parameters, it may be 1, it may be 20, they club together to make a design space. ICH Quality 8 guidelines has specifically mentioned that this combination and interaction of material attributes and the process parameters are required the part of DOE to demonstrate the quality. You might be knowing that India is a hub for filing of generic products. When coming to the generic filing in the US, it is mandatory that we must have the design space data to further process our application. And this control strategy, as mentioned in the ICH guidelines, includes the PAT, the Process Analytical Technology, where we are going to identify and qualify the raw materials, how we can determine the quantitative concentration of the amount of APIs into your finished product, how you can discriminate the different physicochemical parameters of the finished product, as well as the different in-process control of these parameters. And again, the main aspect of quality by design, applying the risk assessment level 3, where all the quality attributes we discuss into as the critical quality attributes into the step number 2, critical material attributes and the process parameter into the step number 4, as well as the step number 5, that is the PAT, the testing strategies, all multiplied together to give you a good quality risk assessment, because that is mandatory to optimize your formulation, your procedure, your extraction, and your action of the formulation. One step, that is the step number 6, has been added for requiring a feedback for improvement of your formulation. Say after this step number 5, you find that my formulation lacks something. How to enhance it, how to change it, how to modify it. We have to start again from this step number 3. We have to again provide the pumping blood to the heart into the DOE, and DOE will definitely give you a better change and the better outcome. How this design of experiment is working, we're coming to that aspect that different input parameters are given to this design. Different process parameters are given as the input for this design of experiment. As I told you, minimum it can be 2 and maximum it can be it or your choice. Up to 100 we can enjoy, and that outcome responses we are going to determine. A tablet may have the 10 attributes like the hardness, disintegration, dissolution, appearance, shape, size, similar manner. Such outcome responses for any formulation, either its physical form, either its dissolution, either its mechanical properties, they can easily be visualized by this design of experiment. So this design of experiment is organizing our experiment and giving us the answer which is our desired output. We devote some time, we devote some efforts to organizing such experiment into the lab. Here the design of experiment will make ensure that you perform the minimum experiment and getting the better outcomes or the best products. We have enough data with us. We have to just find out what is the right data. In generally, being a scientist, making such experiment, we thought of that I need such outcomes. I need that dissolution should be 85% within 15 minutes, and I try to manipulate the dissolution readings. But as and when I check the data, I could not find my data is right or the wrong. So here, design of experiment has implemented a STAT approach which can give you a outcome measurement that the data observed by you is absolutely right and you can go ahead with any of the formulation. This design of experiment can simply be called as optimization, where the simple meaning of this optimization is perfect, effective, or the functional. So purpose is we are getting the best product, we are getting a functional product. Now the question comes, why we are using the design of experiment? In this competitive business environment, everyone wants his product to be marketed faster. Before than that, before the other company, the competitor, and that's why we can use this design of experiment to perform the minimum number of experiment and getting the best outcomes. This will give you the advantage of competition, winning situation into the market, that you are getting the best product and the first hand product into the market. As the business outcome, it will give you the increased return on investment, the basic fundamental aspect of the business, that we are getting the returns on investments. And the major aspect from a formulator point of view, from an investigator point of view, from a researcher point of view, that your product is of highest quality. That is the working of DOE. How DOE was evolved. There is a simple method named as trial error method. Since ancient time, you are using this method, which depends on the knowledge and the experience and based on your luck. I can take a simple example here. Like first time, you might have tried to cook the food in the kitchen. You might be knowing the procedure, but practically you are not performed that. So based on your theoretical knowledge, might you have some later experience by seeing into it, and based on your luck on that day, you prepared a food that might be good or that might be the worst. But somehow that was a process which is named as trial error. And that happens that we are gaining doing some mistakes and getting the outcomes later on. Then the procedure comes to be one factor at a time. We fix one factor and then we are going to change. All other factors kept in constant, which is not going to examine your different combinations. And finally, it is not going to examine any interactions. Like when I'm making a tablet, I'm using a binder and using a disintegrant. Binder is absolutely going to enhance the hardness of my tablet. Similar manner, when I'm using the disintegrant, it is going to decrease the disintegration time, which might decrease in the hardness of the tablet. So when both of these parameters are working, how they interact with each other, what is their optimum concentration, can I determine by any of these two techniques? It was not feasible to determine. It was just going on experimentation, 20 experiment, 50 experiment, 100 experiment, and finally saying out of these 100, one can be the best. But then this approach in 1950s came that said the design of experiment can work like such a manner that you are not entered into the lab, it is predicting the results of experiment. So approximately like 1.5 years, we are facing this lockdown. Science laboratories are almost closed. They are working at the optimum or the minimum level. If we have some minimum experiments there, we can apply the design of experiment and get the product which cannot be even formulated or which cannot be even done into the labs. Getting the best product, meaning meeting the best conditions, and that the design of experiment can do to meet your multiple goals. So this design of experiment has two basic parts. One is setting up a design, setting up your experiments by giving a name of that design. It's your choice at this moment of time, the name you select. Like the parents, When the childbirth take place, they give some name. Here you have to select some name of the design. That is your choice, but outcomes or the output of this design will only be judged by the data analysis. As happening with the child, its education, its behavior, its working style make a lot proud moments for the parents that he has done a lot of the work. Same is happening here. If design is working good, data analysis outcome will ensure you that you had performed a good experiment. This was given by Ronald Fisher and Professor Frank Yates. It's worth mentioning here the design of experiment uses a test named Fisher's test. In the stat, you might have heard of the F test that was given by Ronald Fisher's, and the algorithm we used in the regression system, that is Yates algorithm, given by the Professor Frank Yates, which said that minimizing the sum of squares of residual. Whenever we apply the regression, we design to get some residual values. Such residual values give you the outcomes that this concept is working in your regression form. So design of experiment definitely going to ensure that your quality of the formulation, quality of your work, quality of your research is absolutely fine. It is saving your time, efforts, and the labor and the money as well. So looking into such significant aspects of the design of experiment, the question comes when I can use it. I'm tempting to know its outcomes, its benefits, then how I can use it. The two questions comes into the mind immediately. So first, to solve the first question, that when to use it, screening something. In a tablet, we had 20 excipients. Out of these 20, 5 may be the critical one, or I can say 2 or 3 may be the critical one, like the binder concentration, super disintegrants concentration. How I can screen them? I have the 20. So coming to the same, design of experiments can be used for either for the screening purposes or for the molding purposes. So that's your choice what you select. Main point come here, being a researcher, how I can use it. And when using it, what are the input required, what are the knowledge do I have, and how I can judge the outcomes. The first hand information I must have, that is what is a variable or what is a factor. As the name indicates, variable which is going to be changed. And synonym for this variable is factor. So some of the books were giving some inputs for design of experiment, they have put the factor, otherwise variable is the standard word which is used in the design of experiments. We have some independent variables and some dependent variables. Independent variables are those which are in your hand. Few moments back, I take an example of cooking the food. So the quantity of the salt, the pinch of any ingredient you add into the food, that is in your hand. But you don't have the taste in your hand. Taste is the outcome of such ingredient you added into the product. Same is happening with our tablet or any formulation. Whatsoever you are going to change, either the concentration of any ingredient, that can change the outcomes like the hardness, dissolution, disintegration, or anything else. So independent are in your hand and dependents are not your hand. Independents are two types, qualitative as well as quantitative. Numerical values and the continuous, that may include the time, temperature, amount of polymers or other excipients. Qualitative may be the nature of the polymers as well as the components of the machines. These qualitative variables are also named as categorical variables. Then coming to the dependent variables, which we can call in another way, the finished product characteristics, that are named as response variables. Entrapment of the drug, pellet size, drug release profile, moisture uptake, and somehow I have given the sedimentation volume, hardness, disintegration, dissolution, content uniformity, and so on. So all such are the outcomes of the product, they are taken into consideration. First thing that we have to learn when you are applying the design of experiment, that is the level. That is value or the designations we are going to assign. First is the lowest value where our function can work, and second is the highest value where it can be possible. Beyond that, this hypothesis does not work, and we may have a third value, which is the intermediate of these two, named as the central value. Why this coding has been done? First aspect is orthogonality of the effects, which is named as independency of the effects. Like we have the two co-hosts today, they are working independently in their different cabins, and they have their independent effect to control this program. Then we can easily depict effects and interactions. How these two co-hosts can work together to make this a synergistic effect into this program. Easy calculation of the coefficient and their variances, and finally a visualization of the response surface, which we can see with different examples. So as I told, orthogonality is the independence of interactions. If you might have used any of such software, you can find the end outcomes aliased model. Aliased model means that is lacking the orthogonality, lacking the independency, that your model is not absolute right, and that must be rejected if this alarming situation comes by your software. Our interaction may be synergistic or the antagonistic. I have given you example of addition of a binder and super disintegrant. They may have the different ones. How to visualize such interactions? That can be given by a chart, taken into consideration the magnitude of the coefficients as well as the responses. So whenever we plot a graph, this is basically a bar diagram. So whatsoever the interactions is happening, so how we can say that magnitude of these coefficient is going to change or the negative impact on our effect. That might have the positive when they interact with each other. And this chart was given by a scientist named Pareto. That's why it's named is Pareto chart. We have another way to represent this is named as fission bond diagram, and that can also be used in the similar manner. Another aspect to be considered into the design of experiment is space. Zoom meeting link has been provided to all the delegates. Whosoever has joined through the Zoom meeting, they can listen this lecture and can get into this. But who can later on enjoy this, they can go out to this recording and other aspects as provided by the organizers. Such aspects, such meeting space, similar is happening with design of experiments, that is named to be as the factor space. And that factor space is the space where our experiments are going to be performed. And basically, this is named to be as the region of interest. So this factor space can be made by this design way. Like we have a rectangular design. 9 nodes are going to be present there. Similar 9 nodes are going to be present into the second right figure, but they have the different shape. Being a simple a class 5th student, we can say that this is a rectangle and this is a circle. That is the beauty of the design, that you can analyze your variables at the angle of 90 degree or at the circular or the parabolic way. It make you a structure like benzene, it make you a structure like hexagonal, octagonal, that even a triangle structure can be possible by any of the design. And that can visualize you the response surface. So this picture will appear, which shows that your responses are changes not in a linear fashion, with change in your factors. Factors which were in your hand and the responses which were not in your hand. So the curvature of this response is showing you something happening, change with the change in concentration. If you're going to the Lachman, you can find the chapter of the tablet. They have specifically mentioned that this range to this range is optimized for the utilization of the binder, disintegrant, or any other excipient. Why not they have said beyond 10%, the hardness will further going to be increased. It is possible the further hardness is going to be increased. And that can be shown by this 2D graph. So 3D visualization or the 2D visualization can give you the better outcomes, how you can visualize the outcome of your experiments. The final question has come, that how can I implement into the design of experiment into my research work? First simple method is we have to use the fundamental aspect of management, PDCA. P means the plan. We have to form a hypothesis and make a design. Then we have to perform this, test this hypothesis. I am making a question of the hypothesis. I'm going to formulate a tablet having the disintegration time of 1 second. I surveyed the web, the Google. I surveyed the market. I could not find such tablet. Is that hypothesis can work? I have to just test it. If that is going to be tested, I must check it. I must repeat my experiment once and said that yes, it can be part of the standard. And then I should start working with the different process. The first step into this design of experiment is find out or make a list of all process variables, all response variables. Go to any of the standard book or go to any of the research paper, you can easily make such a list. Performing any experiment into the lab, you can easily find out what are the different ranges and what are the levels for this work. How we can work beyond into this range. Like if I am adding a suspending agent beyond 15%, my suspension is not pourable. I cannot transfer from one bottle to one container to the another. So that is the problem with high ranges. So I have to select according to that and code them as the level as we discussed in the previous part. As we select the design, like I have selected the factorial design, the simple most, I can select a difficult design like response surface methodology, the box, Benkel, Plackett, Berman, mixture design, then it will randomize my experiment. It is the inherent property of the design to formulate your experiments. You can now just go ahead with those experiments as given by your design. You can perform even the screening experiments to find out the critical variables as required in this step number 3, so that your step number 4 can work in a better way. And finally, you are getting the extensive data with regard to your experiments. The experiment you performed into the lab that has given some outcomes. We will take a case study in the later half that how these outcomes can affect the design of experiment. And finally, as I told you that this design of experiment has the 2 parts. Applying the design, performing the experiment into the lab according to that, and finally applying some stat or the data analysis. Either our model is linear, either our model is non-linear, we are going to apply the ANOVA. We are generating a mathematical model. All of you might have gone through a mathematical model. The simplest one, y is equal to m into x plus c. Those who have gone through such model, they can go ahead with design of experiment model given by this outcomes. which can help you to determine the main effects, which can help you to identify the different significant variables and predicting the interactions as well. When coming to such polynomial equation, this can be written into this form. But just now I said that equation is equivalent to y is equal to mx plus c. Here c has been given as the beta naught. M has been written as beta 1 into the x1. If we have the interaction, because design of experiment can work into the different interactions, you can determine their coefficient as well. And that give you a robust mathematical model. Either you are working in India or any other country, this model will work and give you the same outcomes as into the one lab to the second lab. So if my factors are less than 4, I can use the screening design by using full or the fractional factorial design. If my factors are going to be more than 5, I must use the fractional factorial design and Taguchi design. Those who are working in the area of extraction or the pharmacognosy, they are applying this design named Taguchi design. If I'm going to model something, I'm going to optimize something, I must use the central composite design. Box-Benck and Plackett-Berman are the another choice, but my factor should be less than 5. If my factors are going to be more than 5, I must reduce the number and then go for the optimization of the modeling. So this factorial design or centered composite design, they are the different one and they have the different outcomes. Before starting your work, it's your choice which design to be applied. Taking the example of a simplest one, the factorial design, which involves the identification of the critical variables, as had been said, the QBD step number 3. How the critical variables are going to be identified, how the design of experiment can help us to get into this. Simple equation has been given for different variables to that of different levels. X raised to power n, level raised to power the number of the factors, and minimum experimental design can be possible with 2 raised to power 2, that is the 4 experiment. That may include the 8 experiment if my factors are going to be 3, and 16, 32, and 64, it is going to be 4, 5, and the 6 variables. I can reduce the number of experiment if I apply the fractional factorial design. Same impact can be given by that design when I have to choose the fractional factorial design. Another choices may include if my factors are less than 3, I can choose the center composite or the Plackett-Berman design. So like I have given you the example, here we have the rectangle, a cube, and cube with a center point. Factorial design can be represented in this way. And this is the simplest design we can apply into our, either we are working into the formulation, either we are working with the extraction of the drugs, either we are determining the pharmacological or therapeutic effect of the drugs, or either we are making the synthetic drugs into the lab, where we have the reflux, temperature, these parameters into consideration, we can apply such design to get the optimum outcome of our experiments. Same equation will work, which is mainly the polynomial equation. Factorial equation may be there, which may be at the 2FI level, which depends upon the mathematical model. The mathematical model generated by factorial design assume a linear relationship and found that the domain is always cubic in shape. Like I take a case study here, I am reducing the particle size. I'm getting the pellet size from 900 micrometer to 100 micrometer. This process is the same way the size reduction process named as extrusion speronation process. I have taken the simple model, 2-factor, 2-level model. Time and speed are the 2 my parameters, and I have selected the 2 minutes as the minimum time and 5 minutes as the maximum time. My RPM is the minimum 700 RPM and 1100 as the maximum RPM. So when coming to this aspect, I have to perform the different 4 experiment. Easily we can see my first experiment belongs to the both levels at the low values, 2 minutes with 700 RPM. Second experiment belongs to the 5 minutes with 700 RPM, and same with third and the fourth experiment. I performed these 4 experiments into the lab and find the response, which was given in the percent, having the response ranges from 42% to 68%. So then I had to calculate the coefficients. So whatsoever my coded value, whatsoever my response, they are multiplied together, divided by the total number of experiments to get these coefficients. Because these coefficients will be used for Pareto chart or visualization surface. If I had some interaction effect, that might have some positive effect or the negative effect. The difference between two can give you the interaction effect coefficient, and this can be visualized by this graph. That is, factor 1 has a negative effect, factor 2 again has a negative effect, but when these two factors join together, they multiply together, they interact together, they have the antagonistic effect. So these are the coefficients shown as B1, B2, and beta 1, 2. They can visualize the effect of your experiments into the response. I just want to inform you that this mathematical model are similar as behave in the real system. Just we have normalized our values, we have changed our values in the form of the coded values, and then that has been transformed from the same scale and getting these coefficients. That is the beauty of this mathematical model. When coming to the data analysis, I told that ANOVA is the work behind to analyze such data. That is going to test whether this your model and the parameters you estimated, they are significant or not. All of you, when working into the lab, might have gone through formulating a standard curve. Determining the regression square coefficient, if your value comes to be 0.8, the teacher said reject it. Why? Because that is the low value. Regression coefficient should be accepted if the value comes out to be 0.99. Same happens with the ANOVA. If our value is more than the probability value, then only we can accept it and then we can go ahead. So fitting and significance of your mathematical model. The positive outcomes aspect of your mathematical equation is based on this test that is named to be ANOVA. Just giving the idea of how this works, we are going to determining the sum of squares, the total ones, the residual ones, and the regression ones. When determining this total sum, we can determine the mean. Mean can be determined by dividing them with their degree of freedom. When we take the ratio of regression to the residual, we can predict the F value. In any of the stat book, you can find F value has been given at 3 different levels: 0.1%, 1%, and 5%. 5% is the maximum, which shows that only 5% chances are there your outcomes may be due to the chance. 95% it is a confidence that it happens due to your performance of right and the good experiments. And this percentage can go up to 99.9% because we have the 3 table values and we have to just match our values. Like into this design, we have the total sum of square was 401. We had determined the regression and the residual and then determining the F value. Our F value was found to be 2.97. The book value should be less than 2.97 and I can say that my model is significant. Whenever you are using a software, it will ensure you that even any parameter, even the main effect of any response is significant or not. If anyone is not significant, you can change it. Coming to the step number 6 of quality by design, change for the better, and then you can again repeat your experimentation. Similar example with 3 different variables, getting the 8 experiment. 2 levels, raised to power 3, getting the 8 experiment. Now into this, you can say different type of interactions. In addition to the main effect of x1, x2, and x3, we have the interaction effect of x1 with x2, x1 with x3, x2 with x3, and ultimately we have one more interaction effect, that is x1, x2, and the x3. So this we can say how this interaction can be given you synergistic or the antagonistic effect. Some of the values or the coefficient values are here in the negative. B1, B2, B13. So that means B1, the main effect of factor 1 and main effect of factor 2 are the negative one, where interaction of B1 with B3 is also behaving in the same manner. So we have the 8 coefficient, 8 experiment, it can be easily visualized by this Pareto chart. B1, B2, B3, B23 giving such a high impact on the negative side of your response, where only 3 parameters having some limited aspect on their positive effect. It may be quite desired into such case if you want to change the turbidity, enhance the turbidity, that negative value is of our desired outcomes. This DOE has given the advantage that one factor, in addition to the different other responses, can be studied. You can change all the factors at a time and you can get the change in your response at the same time. Synergistic aspect of the factors or the independent variables or the antagonistic effect by looking into the interaction can easily be seen by graphical representations. Maximum information of your experiments can be visualized by this design of experiment. It will save your time, resources, and the budget as well, and quantitative and qualitative factors can easily be studied. The question comes, are there any limitations of the design of experiment by applying this? It might happen what the ranges we selected, what the level we got for our initial study, that may be wrong enough to get such outcomes, because its working happens with that limited area. If I'm making a standard curve from 10 microgram per ml to 100 microgram per ml, my predictions will lie between 10 to 100. Same is happening here. Predictions of this experiment lies between that range only. And secondly, whenever we are going to extrapolate the value, I want to determine at 120 microgram, it may work, but the accuracy may not be the 100%. So these I am quoting some publications where I have applied the different design like center composite, Taguchi design, the box Benson design, as well as either for the extraction purposes, either for excipient selection purposes. So even making in the nanoparticles, we have applied the center composite as well as the box Benson design to formulate that. The takeaway message for quality by design is that quality by design is a proactive approach which can be used for your product development, your research, your formulation, your extraction process, or your any other research impact. And it has the potential to reduce the questions based on your responses. And if the deviations are coming into your responses, like I want that my hardness should be the value of 1.2, it is coming at 1 or it is coming at 1.9, I can check out by this quality by design where the change is happening. Continuous improvement in your product into your manufacturing process can easily be monitored, easily be go ahead by this quality by design. Better understanding how your different parameters, different material attributes, different process parameters are going to affect your product. And finally, the efficiency of manufacturing will definitely will going to be enhanced. You have the reduced cost, reduced wastage, and nutshell the best quality product, keeping into mind the old regulatory considerations of the product. The house is open for any questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for such an informative session. There is a question, sir. Sandhya Balraj. Are variables the only parameters to be considered while choosing and designing DOE, or should the number of trials should be highlighted? She means the availability of raw material, like when we are working with a costly drug.
Even you are using a costly drug, the physicochemical characteristics of a drug can be taken into consideration. That may be a variable. Lipophilicity is one of the variable you can check in. How it is going to change the different formation or different parameters of your formulation. So into this way, independent variable, you can select anything which is going to impact your response. Like you are making a topical drug delivery system, and the spreading coefficient of the formulation is going to be changed. By that way, you can select what is the main excipient or what is the quality attributes of my drug, which is going to change that spreading coefficient. So you can take consideration all the aspects, either it is a quantitative nature or it may be quality. Like you are now using a natural polymer. Nowadays, you are getting some synthetic polymer, the semi-synthetic polymer, you can change it, study this aspect by applying a design. But application of design is mandatory to get the outcomes. I hope I'm clear to this aspect, and I'm stop sharing. If any question comes, I can again come to stop sharing this.
Okay. There is one more question, sir.
Somebody has asked that, is there any free software for DOE? Yes, Design Expert is one of the software widely used by the researcher. It provides you a license for 1 month into one system. Keep in mind, if you have used this Design Expert into your say desktop or the laptop for a month, after that next version you cannot download into the same. You have to change and you have to go for the different software. They are so costly. Their cost in say 1 year use is more than lakhs. It around about 10 to 15 lakhs, and I think so any of the institutions into even my university, they cannot afford such costly instruments, sorry, the costly softwares. So always we go for using the software by online version, the free version. That is the company for the Design Expert, and there are so many into this area. Even you can go for such in silico ADME work into that software. Next question has come from Sandhya. Sorry, Sandhya. Could you please summarize again the various design and their use for screening or optimization? I had a design named factorial design, fractional factorial design, and the Taguchi design for the purpose of screening. My variables are more than 10. So I'm taking example of making a tablet. The concentration of binder, concentration of disintegrant, mixing time, granule drying temperature, and the compression force. 5 parameters are there which can change the quality product that is my tablet. I don't want to study these 4. I want to find which are the critical one for me. I can select 3. And out of that, I have to use any of this design. When this design has given me outcome, yes, factorial design, these 3 are best one. I can give the example of Taguchi design, which is mainly for the extraction purposes. Like in ICC ranking, the cricketers are ranked number 1, 2, and 3 in score. Similar manner, they are going to rank the factors. That is, your factor number 2 is the best topmost priority consideration, and that to be considered first before you go ahead. So after that, you can use any response surface design, which is central composite, box band, placket berman. These three are more widely used. Nowadays, industry are using the mixture design as well. So minimum number of experiment is the main criteria for selection of it. But the number of experiment will be different based on your selection of it. I hope, Sandhya, I'm clear to you.
So one more question from Dr. Dinesh Puri.
Is optimization of combination depend upon type of selected DOE? Yes. If you use this factorial design, your outcome will be different. If you use the centered composite design, your outcome will be different. You cannot mix and match them because they have their own characteristics. They have own power of working with your parameters. But centered composite design has the advantage of using composition of 3 different design. So factorial design is also the part of central composite design. It is also named as Box and Whitson design. Central composite means composition of 3 different design: factorial design, axial design, as well as the centered design. Here, axial design means I have shown you a figure of the circle. At the axis of the circle, you are performing your experiment. And same way you are performing the experiment in the center of the domain at the 0 level, which is the central value of each and every parameter. So that can give you the better outcomes. That's why for the modeling purposes, for the optimization purposes, centered composite design is a preferred design in pharmaceutical sciences. If you want to perform less experiments, say only 13, you can apply Box-Benton design. 3-factor, 3-level design, only 17 experiments. Remaining 4 are the common ones and 13s are the different ones. So,
any more questions?
More questions from the audience?
No more questions.
Thank you, Sweetie, for nicely coordinating the session. And I'm sorry for the glitches due to the network that happened in between. And that was out of the control.
Yes, sir.
And I
Thank you.
sincerely thank Dr. Sadeep Kumar and Praveen Gaur for inviting me.